Well, hello, hello. I'm back again. And it feels good. It does. Um, for me, this is an important video. It's for the public record. It's also for educational purposes. I'm going to talk about some of this corruption with regards to Ethan and Kalkaska County, the state of Michigan, the federal government. There's so much to talk about. I mean, there's so many nuances and bits of information that are relevant, but there's only so much time in a day. I don't want to make this a 3-hour video. I better check and make sure I got sound. I don't have anybody in the chat to tell me. So here we go. All right, I got sound. It's beautiful. It's so disappointing. That call I made to the examiner at the United States Patent and Trademark Office with no sound. And I had a little phlegm attack just before going live, which is typical. So a shot of Bacardi, that works good for me. So that's what I did. I feel it clearing up here. All right. Some of you might be your first time here. Other you know my story or parts of it. There's an awful lot to my story. So, in a quick recap, I discovered optimal oral health with cannabis. I discovered that cannabis formulations rejuvenate lost gum tissue. When I discovered this, it was written in the United States National Library of Medicine. If you have lost gum tissue, it's gone forever. It's not coming back. It's worth mentioning there's a lot of big players in the dental industry, from products to service providers and drugs. Oh, not to mention all the legal side that goes with it, the legal judicial side and all that. Oh, yeah, huge industry, right? So I discovered this. You would think that in America, you might, somebody might say, good job. Okay. I'm not looking to be a hero. I'm not looking to be famous. I really just wanted to be left alone. Continue my life as an entrepreneur and an inventor. That's what I wanted. But that's not what I got. No, not even close. Two-tier justice system. Is designed to enslave us and destroy us. And you're witnessing that on a world stage. And while all this chaos is going on all around you, you got this guy over here in Kalkaska going, hey, I mean, what I've done is I have documented what I've done, which is very powerful. And so we're going to talk about me wanting to have a conversation with the Kalkaska County Sheriff for years. And the man won't meet with me, won't return my calls. Until one day I had it. And I went there as a man, one of the people, and as prosecutor. You can be prosecutor too for your own cause. Now, I refused to meet until I got to speak with somebody, and I was there quite a while and being very insistent. And the sheriff's department personnel staff there, they weren't very happy about that. They said, that's not how it works. I said, yes, it is. And I stayed. Eventually, they told me that the undersheriff would talk with me. So when the clown in costume came out, I thought I was talking with the undersheriff. Obviously, I'm going to play a little couple clips out of that video. You'll see it's a sergeant. Sergeant's not undersheriff. So I was there as prosecutor, and I was there with an order for arrest and detain for several people, many who had already pled guilty to treason and trespass, and others that I needed served. They were facilitated. Courts open. Paperwork needed to be served. Now, I was only able to capture 20 minutes on the phone because that's all the storage I had. I was there for 2.5 hours. What you don't see is when I put that paperwork to the jail sergeant to serve those other court cases, public record, open court of law, lawful court, high court. He refused to take them. But a little bit more talking, a little bit more educating. And when I stood up, he put his hands out like this to take it all. And I also had what I have titled 48 love letters in the documents section on the services page of oralhealthwithcannabis.com. That's 48 state constitutions. I left that with him. He said, you're leaving this too? I said, yes, I'm leaving that with you too. So I had prepared a case to serve on the sheriff if the sheriff was not going to do the right thing. And the sheriff refused to meet with me. So after hitting him that pile, I had one more. I said, this one's for the sheriff. And I served the sheriff, put the sheriff in my court. Ultimately, the sheriff pled guilty to treason and trespass. And from there, I went on to hold many other court cases and deal with Camp Grayling up here. And anyway, I'm not going to get sidetracked too much. I want to stick to Kalkaska. So, sheriff pleads guilty to treason. Well, now, what do you think's happening there in Kalkaska County Sheriff's Department, prosecutor's office, and in the judge's minds? What do you think's going on? I really educated that jail sergeant. I did. And even though that video came out short, and there's a lot that I didn't get that I'd like to have, and might be available on FOIA request, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that. I'm willing to bet that stuff's long since been deleted. I'm gonna play just a couple of short segments out of that video. I'll turn the speaker on here. Boop. All right. So, hey, this is Ethan Dean. I'm here with
Sergeant Leach.
And we're going to have a little discussion. And I'm just going to sit here so that we can pick up the recording. Okay. So I can't get a man to stand with me. Not one. All these years, since 2015. I had nobody there to hold the camera and record. So it's facing the ceiling. And so now I'm gonna fast forward. So you can see I was meeting with a very young man there. Very young man. And something we're going to talk about is the fact that two things happened. Two significant things happened with the Kalkaska County Sheriff's Department and the other with the prosecutor's office. In less than 30 days, the Kalkaska County prosecutor, the man who prosecuted me, the one who lied repeatedly to me, lied repeatedly to my defense attorney, who was no defense attorney at all. Oh, no. Oh, no. But he lied to him, too. Mike Pro is a lying SOB, abusing his authority, abusing his responsibility, really acting in very nefarious manner. In the middle of his third term, he retired. He retired. Go figure, huh? I'll pull up the news articles and show you, prove it to you that way. They have not been, that history has not been rewritten. I just did 2 videos on rewriting history where they're deleting the internet. They're deleting some of this information I'm bringing forward, like the National Institute of Health funding $1.8 billion to rejuvenate gum tissue, did it under a false title of revolutionizing the root canal, ignoring my intellectual property, ignoring my evidence, ignoring my science. And they did that in May 2016, the same month that parasite Kalkaska County former prosecutor Michael Perot, who had said repeatedly there will be no charges, decided to hit me with all kind of felonies. So time passed, and I wrote an open letter. And the purpose of that open letter was, in my mind at that time, was to create some awareness to the fact of oralhealthwithcannabis.com, the troubles that I was having to bring it forward, putting some dates to events, and for this I needed an email from my former patent attorney, and because I couldn't find it, it just wouldn't pull up, and so I asked him for it, but he didn't send it to me. Oh, no, he didn't want me to see that. What he sent me was phone conversation transcripts, which gave me the date and time period that I required. All right. So as far as he's concerned, he's giving me what I was asking for because I wasn't asking for the content of that email. He didn't want me to have that email. And son of a gun, I happened to find it. It actually, I kept putting in keyword after keyword after keyword in search. And finally, it pulled up that email and I had it. And then I get the emails from my former patent attorney in PDF file with phone transcripts, which made it even more damning. So that worked in the long run. That really worked out well for documentation. So the Calcasieu County prosecutor boot scoots boogies by the end of July. I was there, I think it was June 28th. I believe it's 2021. And before the end of July, Michael Perot, in the middle of his third term, gone. Says he retired. Says he had problems, with staffing and financing and oh yeah, another crack story. But that's what you read when you read about him leaving in the middle of his third term. And then who was I meeting with? I was meeting with the jail sergeant, a young man, had bright eyes. And he listened and he got an education. He did. And so what happened a little bit later? Calcasieu County Sheriff's Department's got to move all their inmates because they have no staff. The jail sergeant there, they had staff there. Who did I meet with? Oh, and then shortly after the prosecutor's gone, now the Sheriff's Department's got no staff. Was that because of me? Who knows? Kind of looks that way though, doesn't it? So I'm going to pick this up at 14:41, and it's only 18 minutes total. So we're going to listen at 18:39 seconds. So we're only going to listen to about 4 minutes of this. It's a good education for you. And it's for the public record. And it's for accountability going forward. So here we go. That all persons invested with the legislature or executive powers of government are the trustees. Do you know what a trust indenture is? You guys are under a trust indenture. You have responsibility, you have duty, you have sworn an oath.
Yep.
You're an employee of this government.
Calcasieu County, yes.
Right? Trustee of the public. That's an awesome responsibility, man.
Yep.
Okay. And as such, accountable. Accountable for what?
Conduct.
Wherefore, whenever the ends of government are perverted and the public liberty manifestly endangered, and all other means of redress are ineffectual, the people may and ought and of right ought to reform the old or establish a new government. The doctrine of non-resistance against arbitrary power and oppression is absurd, slavish, and destructive of the good and happiness of mankind. Right? All right, that's law. Law. High law. It shall be the duty of the General Assembly to enact such laws as will protect them in full enjoyment of the rights, privileges, and, what's that say? Immunities. Yeah. So you have immunity to anything that goes against any of your rights. Right to courts. No person shall be deprived the right to prosecute.
Yep.
or defend their either in person or by attorney that person's own case in any of the courts of the state. So that's any court in any state, right? Who
You have that right.
who can prosecute their own case?
Well, you can have your attorney.
No. Either in person or
By an attorney.
by an attorney.
I just said
Either in person.
Yep.
I don't need an attorney. Or.
Yep.
Or means either or.
Yep.
So
if you can either have your in person or have your attorney do it for you.
I can do it.
Yes.
I can prosecute my own case.
Yes.
Parole's going to tell you no. The bar is going to tell you no. You can't. I can't even discuss.
You can defend yourself as your own public.
No. This isn't defend. This is.
Well, it says defend right there. Yes, right. Prosecute.
Okay. So he's resistant to the fact that you can prosecute. Proving it to him. Where? In the state's constitutions. Again, on the services page at oralhealthwithcannabis.com. You can always find that address in the description of my videos. Go to the services page, go to the documents section, download 48 love letters. It's a Word document. It's on 8.5 by 14 legal size paper. That's how it's formatted. It's word searchable. Alabama, Section 10, right to prosecute civil cause, that no person shall be barred from prosecuting or defending before any tribunal in the state by himself or counsel any civil cause to which he is a party. All right, then you just said tribunal. Yeah, I know. All right. Here you go, resistors. Georgia, right to the courts. That's paragraph 12. No person shall be deprived the right to prosecute or defend, either in person or by an attorney, that person's own cause in any of the courts of this state. You cannot have a right in Florida, Colorado, Georgia, Alabama, anywhere, and I don't have that right in my state or any other state. Gorf says, I don't feel like prosecuting anyone. Well, these people need to be held accountable, and I didn't want to prosecute them either. I tried to have a conversation. I tried to get them to do the right thing. But when they're going to be criminals, then they need to be held accountable, and that takes a prosecution. And this isn't hard. It's not difficult. Your rights don't come from the Constitution. Your rights are inalienable, unalienable, and they were once constitutionally protected. But we have corporosity, and private member association. All right, so I got these queued up. I should be able to just pull them right up here. Let's see that one's weather. Here, this is loading. Kalkaska Jail moves inmate to nearby counties, May 19th, 2022. All right, that's all you got to do is do a word search. Kalkaska County Sheriff's moves inmates. And there's several articles there. Why did that happen? Could it be that one man having a conversation with another man in a clown costume working for a corporation didn't know he was in a clown costume working for a corporation? You see, as far as my research indicates, 50% or more, 50% or more of middle to lower law enforcement want to be whistleblowers. But when they do, they get gang stalked, they get destroyed. It's like these attorneys that want to come forward and do the right thing. What happens? They get sanctioned, they get debarred, they get their lives destroyed because we have a two-tier justice system that is weaponized against us. I held court many times. I abrogated the land taxes on this property for 200 years. Now, none of this had to happen, but it did. But it doesn't matter to these parasites because they're coming for my property for forfeiture, foreclosure. Stays away. I've asked for help. Doesn't come. I tried putting this property up for sale. Oh, it went really good too. I had a hot buyer right off the get. The very first long meeting, asked me if I'd take down the signs. He came out weekend after weekend with his woman. And then one day, when they're out here, the realtor comes rushing over with paperwork, wants it signed, expects it to be signed. This guy's going to put down $1,000 deposit. That closing needs to have the taxes covered and the closing costs discovered, and that parasite knew it. It's hard to even sell a piece of property. So something needs to be done because we can't have a two-tier justice system. You can't have our tax money used to enslave us. All right, let's see. I got the article here on Michael Perot. I might have to ask for it. Looks like I might have to ask for it. Kalkaska County Prosecutor Mike Perot resigns. I should have said retired, but it should pull it up. There we go. Record Eagle. It's a local rag around here. There he is. What? Hey, come back here. What are they doing? What? Oh, in order to read our site, I got to log in. All right. Well, we can just read out of what it shows you here. Just a little blurb. That Prosecutor Michael Perot retired July 31st, citing staffing and salary issues. I put a lawful order in for his arrest. And this man's walking around free. How many people did he unlawfully put in prison? How many people did he have in that Kalkaska County Sheriff's Department jail? So, did I have that effect? That the staff for the jail's gone and the prosecutor leaves? I'm thinking I did. What other explanation is there? So, now it should be well known. I mean, this is a small community here, a little over 2,000 people in the village of Kalkaska. Mm, shouldn't be any secrets, right? I mean, uh, so with regards to the fact that Ethan knows that the judge gives advice from the bench, and it apparently doesn't show up in the court transcripts. The court recorder apparently doesn't pick that up. Or if it did, the bar attorney who got that at my request and then told me, Ethan, I don't see it in there, didn't offer me a copy. So I don't know. It's either one or the other. But it happened. The judge gave advice from the bench. And the prosecutor lied repeatedly. That day, that court hearing, my defense attorney, who was paid, was there with another man. That I hear tell was given immunity to testify against me. And when that courtroom was full of all these cases, I got to stand on the other side of the doors out here. Case after case after case. And then my defense attorney walks out with this man, walks over to me and says, Ethan, you don't need me. Don't give up any of your rights, and walks off. Eventually, I get called in. I'm the only one in there, me and my wife, the bailiffs, judge, prosecuting attorney, Michael Perot. Do you think they should have said, well, where's your attorney? He was here earlier. We'll have to reschedule this. No, nothing like that. No, that piece of shit parasite calls me out into the lobby, takes me out of the courtroom for a private conversation where he threatens me. He threatens me. I need to plead guilty to a felony, he says. After he's repeatedly told me there will be no charges. Where before that shop was open the second time, he gave his blessing. There were two other shops operating in the village of Kalkaska. I opened up a shop outside, out in the boonies, not in the village. Wasn't the first one, had his blessings. And I ran a tight shop. What did I do wrong? Apparently, independent dentist did an evaluation, used plaque disclosing tablets. 30 days later, used plaque disclosing capsules again. Took the pictures. I didn't know the dentist. Within a matter of weeks, here come the raids. In Kalkaska, prosecutor doesn't want to know nothing about this. The judge doesn't want to know nothing about this. This is exculpatory evidence. It's a medical major breakthrough. The prosecutor said there would be no charges. Repeatedly gave his blessing to open that shop. I know it's a kangaroo court. Can't trust the attorney. Can't trust the prosecutor. Can't trust the judge. Well, what do I get in the mail? Oh, I get an order for jury duty. For jury trial. As a juror. Seriously. You think any one of them want me on a jury? No way. What are they doing? It's just more gang stalking. So I held court with the county clerk, Deborah Hill. She's the respondent. All right. A lot of paper here. Her remedy shall be in reestablishing common law courts in Kalkaska County and upholding your duty and obligations as a public servant. Deborah Hill decided to plead guilty to treason. And so this was the date on the receipt here is 09/21/2021. So you would think that might be the end of it. No, it's not. I get mail from the judge. I get mail from the judge. Judge Lynn Boudet, the one who proceeded with that prosecutor when my defense attorney wasn't there. I got mail from Lynn M. Boudet, black robe wearing judge. She made a big mistake. Mail fraud. I've done the talks on that. Operating outside of her jurisdiction. In blue ink, my name was penned. Capital first letter, lowercase following for both first and last names. Now, in their corporate fiction world, they play their games. It's always the all caps name, always the all caps name. A fiction. So I put Deborah Hill back in my court again. And I sent a notice of mailing. This is what I sent. It was returned to me. You can see the folds in this paper here. It was folded. It was in a separate envelope. It was in a separate envelope that was attached to the outside of the main mailer. The main mailer held the case. There was a little window in that other envelope that was taped to the main mailer. You see the word open there? That was in the window. Completely separate. Completely separate. The manila folder had the green card on it. That was the case. This is notice of mailing. Notice of mailing. And I facilitated it with the public notary. as a jurat certificate. And documents enclosed. Let's see. Where do I? All right. So this is notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent is notice to successors, replacements, substitutes. Pretty much anybody in Kalkaska County governance should have a copy of this. I'm willing to bet that Kalkaska County Treasury does not. Documents enclosed. Notary has verified the documents and sealed them in the mailing package. That means what went in that mailing package was put there by the notary, not by me. What was inside there was sent by. Now, this mailer, notice of mailing, was the first time I had taken this step on any of the cases that I had facilitated in a court of law, a high court, a court of record. First time I ever did it. And the public notary had facilitated many, many, many documents for me. And up until this time, there was never an error. There was never an error. And there was a set of circumstances that let an error pass. So the error is the date for the notary as jurat, 3rd day of December 2022. This was the 3rd day of December 2021. Well, what happened? What happened was it was a busy day there that day. And when it was my turn there at the counter, the phone's ringing. And she's dealing with the phone, which is making her deal with the computer on an issue that's not mine. I was standing there when the phone rang. So now I'm just there twiddling my thumbs. So she'd get a break. The phone would ring again. She'd get a break. The phone would ring again. She read that she was putting the document in there. The document that's in that package, she put it there. Date got missed. I missed it. She missed it. So, very interesting. It all gets returned to me with this from Deborah Hill. This is very, very key here. Dear Mr. Dean, I am returning your documents, not document, documents, as it is not clear the purpose of your filing and the notarization of the document, no S, would not be valid given the date is in the future, 12/3/2022. If you are filing a court case in the circuit court, the filing fee is $175. You would also need the appropriate documents to accompany a court filing, including a summons and complaint, blah, 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 blah. Oh, it goes on. If you are requesting excusal for jury duty, it appears you made that request formally for the summon date in September 2021 and was excused. You cannot excuse me. You cannot order me. I made that clear in my case. See, Deborah Hill doesn't know what a lawful court case is. 2 times Deborah Hill pleads guilty to treason. Kalkaska County Sheriff, Undersheriff, and Jail Sergeant all plead guilty to treason. I don't know that they ever served the prosecutor. I imagine he saw that paperwork. I imagine he saw that paper.